Dear friends, welcome back to Dad's Data Analytics Talks. Thank you very much for all your support. This session, we are not going to deal with any of the technical topic. Instead, I would like to share some insight on one of the most relevant employable skill, which is interview skills. Everyone, whether it is a junior or graduate or experienced, has to undergo interviews, whether to change a project, get a job, or change the company. So, being an experienced person in the industry, I have taken a lot of interviews and they have selected people, rejected people. I also had difficult situation whether to choose or not to choose because of various factors. As you know, the percentage that is on the CV is not only the important factor of getting a person selected. Yes, the percentage is one of the important factor. Along with that, the confidence, the appearance, the gestures, and the preparation and your attitude all matters. So in this session, I would like to share with you some of the tips from my experience and from the knowledge base I could access about how to get ready for your next interview so that you can make it a grand success. So let's begin. So let me start this session with a simple question. What do you understand by the term interview? Often I hear that it is an evaluation of candidates' eligibility for the opportunity in terms of skills, capabilities, knowledge, and behavior. So, do you agree with that? I have a slightly different opinion about it. An interview is not an examination of candidate. It is actually a platform where two parties, you have the interviewer and the candidate, come together and try to know if there is a right fit or not. So the interviewer will evaluate if the candidate fits well into the organization or not. And on the other hand, the candidate will evaluate if the opportunity fits well based on his or her interest, areas, skills, aspirations. Most companies start with a telephonic interview, then a video one, then finally a face-to-face interview. So normally the interviews are multi-stage process. So those who have already attended, they know that there is a pre-preparation, immediate preparation, and you need to plan what to be delivered during the interview, then what should be done after the interview, that's post-interview, then how do you do the follow-up. So first and foremost, there is a pre-preparation stage. So let me help you understand the different pre-preparation stages for your interview. So when you have a job request in your mailbox, suppose you have registered your name in some of the job portals and you started getting interview calls. Okay, what are you going to do? So when you are getting an interview call, the first thing you need to do is get the job description, that is called JD. Then read the job description thoroughly to understand how the employer has described the job position and the type of the candidates they are looking for. You have to carefully review the keywords and the key phrases the employer uses to describe their expectation. The more you can align your skills and qualification with the job description, the better chances you stand to impress the interviewer. So if you read the detailed job description, you may get some clues also about what this interviewer is going to ask. So normally the job description follow this pattern, like job details, always list out what is expected out of this job, then something about the company, then what are your roles, what are you going to deliver, what are you going to carry out in the company, then some of the benefits that the company offers, and the required qualifications and experience. So very well read about the job details and the roles and the technology. If it is a technology job, look at the technology specific and understand it. So that's the first thing that you need to do. Yes, the second thing is review your eligibility for the job or check your eligibility for the job. You may, as I said, your mailbox may be flooded with a lot of interview calls, especially when you are a fresher. So think about your qualification and experience. Ask yourself why you are required to apply for that job and why the employer should hire you. Assessing how the job fits into your career path and what value you can add to the company helps you convince the interviewer about what makes you the best candidate for the position. So always check your eligibility. If you are a fresher and you are asked, the job demands you 5 year experience, you are not eligible. You cannot apply for that. Second important thing is to consider your eligibility for the job. Then third important thing is learn about the company culture. Is it the right fit for you? So get in-depth information about the company, about from its website, social media, employee reviews, and other online sources. So in this modern age, it is quite easy to get information about any company. You can find out their mission, their management, work culture, the type of the product it offers, and the type of client it serves, and you can get some insight on its last revenue growth perspective, business plan, etc. So researching the company well helps you align your CV with its expectation. It also helps you answer questions about firm during the interviewer. So if you are familiar with the organization, you can also ask relevant questions to the interviewer. So remember why. Just answer questions related to the company during the interview, and you can also ask questions relevant during the interview, right? So get good understanding of the company before you step into there for interview. Number 4, prepare a list of expected interview questions. I'm sure that you all will agree that this has big impact. So making a list of common interview questions for the given position and framing thoughtful answers is so impactful. So prepare impressive responses to questions will give you an opportunity to highlight your skills and interest in this job. So in addition to the position specific questions, you can also prepare common questions like, tell me about yourself. Why are you looking for job change? Very common question, right? Why do you want this job? What are your strengths and weakness? What motivates you? Then where do you see yourself in 5 years? So these are very, very important. So prepare a list of expected interview questions and frame thoughtful answers. Then very impactful activity is practicing mock interviews. Did you get a chance to do a mock interview any time in your career? If you had, I'm sure you will agree with me on this point. No matter how well you prepare, it is natural to feel anxious and overwhelmed at the time of the interview. Sometimes you write examination also, right? So we prepare, but you may forget. You prepare for speeches, we fail to deliver. Similar thing happens in interviews also. So you can create a real interview-like environment and help boost your confidence. Ask your friends, your family to conduct a mock interview for you. So consider recording entire process to analyze your performance. So if you cannot find anyone like friends or relatives, you can rehearse the interview in front of a mirror. So practicing mock interviews as a pre-preparation for. The next point is all about organizing your documents. Sometime you may have applied using a digital copy of your CV, but it always helps to keep hard copies of all your documents with you, just in case the interviewer needs them for an easy access. Take a printout of your resume and a cover letter. Put all the important documents, including your mark sheet, certificates, ID proof, photographs, in a folder. If the HR has asked you to bring any particular documents like salary slip, relieving letter from previous employer, bank statement, be sure to keep them ready as well. So organize your documents before you get into the interview. Then very, very important these days, like you have to update your social media profile. I know anything and everything of a candidate can be accessed from the social media. So if you are in a LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, or any other social media platform, make sure you have an updated profile. The employers often check your social media presence to get an idea about your personality, your background. Search for your name in Google to see what results turn up. If there is anything unpleasant, prepare yourself for a response if the interviewer asks about. So, update your social media profile. So, this one is a kind of immediate preparation where you make all the travel arrangement. You have to familiarize yourself with the location map that the company has sent you. You can also check directions to the venue using Google Maps based on the distance and the time it would take to commute. Plan your timing and decide on the mode of transport. Have contact information of the HR department ready with you just in case you need any help locating the company. Another point is very, very important. It is all about dress code. So when you go for interview, you should be aware of the do's and don'ts about your attire. So, you choose a formal dress that you would be wearing for the interview. Make sure the clothes are clean, wrinkle-free. If you plan to spray some deodorant or perfumes, right, make sure it is mild. Overall, plan for a neat, clean look with well-cut hair, shaved or trimmed beard. So we have been talking so much about the pre-preparation stage. Now we have done all the preparation for the interview, and now it's time for interview. So as I mentioned, there could be telephonic interview, video interview, or one face-to-face interview. So for all these kind of interviews, we need to have some pre-preparation. So most of the time, these pre-preparations are common for all types of interview. But in the case of telephonic or video interview, there are some specific steps we need to be careful. The first is you need to choose an interview space. In many cases, I have been requested to wait for 5 minutes so that they could find out a proper place for the interview. I'm not sure why. Yeah, of course. When you are attending a serious interview, please find a clean, quiet area of your living space where you can take the call. Select a space with internet connectivity where a charging point is closely available. Be sure to speak with the housemates in advance to ensure that nobody will walk behind you or make loud noise while you are in the middle of discussing your professional strength and weakness. And the second point is check the technology. Check for the internet connectivity, speed, webcam, and the audio of the mobile device or computer systems. Then before the interview, what we should be careful. See, make sure, be ready at least 15 minutes in advance. See, always try to be ready in advance so that you can manage any kind of emergency situation or uncertainties. Like if your phone is not charged or is hanging a bit, you can fix it. If there is some disturbance in the interview space you selected, you can change it. So make sure you get into the space at least 15 minutes in advance for the interview. Again, the second point is very important point. Check for the internet connection, camera and audio. And the third point, make sure to adjust the camera at eye level in the case of a video interview. You can take support some books or any study table or a small desk for that matter. Then, you should dress appropriately. Make sure you are dressed formally. Though it is online interview, you still need to be very serious about your appearance. So another point you should be careful is keep a water bottle handy in case you start coughing or your throat is dry, you can use it, or else you will keep coughing or you will have to interrupt the interview discussions. So get up and have water, which will be unprofessional. A notepad and a pen might be required if there is a tricky or a situational question or a puzzle to solve or some calculations to be done. So make sure you have a water bottle, a notebook or pen handy. Yes, manage all the distractions. So during the interview, if there is some distraction from background, maybe from a family member or some sudden loud noise from the background, turn your audio, video off for a few seconds and come back and apologize. So keep interruptions like phone, pen, or anything you are habitual away from you, or else it will be hindrance to you. Yes, moving on, we will see how to prepare for during the interview. So we have seen finding a place, checking your system and everything. It is a pre-preparation, right? Now, during the interview, what are we going to do? So we need to have a preparation required to manage things during the discussion so that you will be able to well prepared for any uncertainties during the interview. So body languages. I hope you understand about body language, right? How you sit, how you talk, your gestures, your actions, your physics, your normal things all belongs to body language. So how do you manage your body language during the interview? That is our question. So first thing, open the call with a greeting and a smile. Smile, always greet. Then the way you open the call shows how much interested and serious you are about the opportunity. Even a telephonic call should be started with a proper greeting and a smile. That shows your confidence and positivity. Then you always maintain the eye contact. Try to look at the interviewer. In a video interview, make sure to maintain eye contact with the interviewer. This can be done only when you look straight into the camera. Then start practicing in your WhatsApp video calls and so on. So look straight to the interviewer and listen to him, give him attention. So the eye contact is very, very important during a video interview. You do not play with your camera. See, some people, they will switch off, they will hide it. So, once you set up your camera at the eye level and also manage your sitting position, do not fable with it again. So it creates a bad impression and shows lack of preparedness. So do not play with your camera during the interview. See, sit straight. You can adopt any position, right? You can lean towards it. You can sit straight. As you see in the image, the man is sitting like this and the lady is sitting straight. So which position? Yeah, please maintain a straight sitting posture. It will show confidence and strength. Again, you should not sit like this. You should know cross arms. So cross arms shows authoritative and negative attitude. Avoid it completely. You should have positive facial expressions. You need not be very serious, right? You can have positive facial expressions during the interviews. So maintain positive expression in any circumstances. Whether you know an answer, gave an answer correct or wrong, your nervousness should not be reflected on your face. Again, how do you answer your question? You listen to the question actively, ask to repeat it if needed, then take few seconds to articulate if needed. Accept if you do not know the answer. Do not keep them waiting. Do not make stories. Focus on tone, voice, pose, and speed. Keep your answers short, focused, and honest. Ask thoughtful questions to the interviewer. So these are some of the norms that we need to follow while answering questions. So it's time for us to look into in-person interviews. So this is basically face-to-face interview. So some of the preparation we already discussed applies to these as well, but we will have a quick tour of what is expected in a face-to-face interview. The first and foremost, reach the location early. See, I think it is very obvious from these images. The one who has reached the venue late, he is hurt, he is not finding comfort. Yeah, do you think the interviewer will like this? And see, some people who reached early, they find relaxed, right? So reach the venue a few minutes before the schedule. It gives you some time to rest and relax. If it is a far off location from your place, the journey has been tiring, and you can use extra time at hand to drink water, use washrooms, or freshen yourself. And reaching early helps reduce anxiety and gives time to mentally prepare for the interview. So make sure you reach the location early. Don't be like the man. And second, you sit straight. It gives you confidence. You can make impression. Be extra polite during the interview. The way you hold yourself in the office tells a lot about you. Many companies use CCTV footage to analyze your personality. Sit patiently in a good posture while waiting for your turn. Be polite to people you meet, including the receptionist, security guard, and other candidates. You know, you always greet the interviewer and always use thank you. And if you are not able to hear them, just use pardon. Use be polite. That is the most important thing during the interview. If you made a mistake, feel free to ask apology. Be mindful of your body language. Already we mentioned how the impact of body language. So be firm, confident while speaking to the interviewer. You can start practicing it very moment you enter the company. Be mindful of your body language while interacting with the receptionist or HR executive. Pay attention to how you smile, greet them. So body language is very much important. I know you have to ask thoughtful questions to the interviewer. So you know that during the pre-preparation stage, and we have learned about the company. So the questions you have already prepared would really help you to make thoughtful questions. So most interviewer would give you an opportunity to clarify your doubts and queries. So make mental notes during the interview to ask pertinent questions to the interviewer. So if you have any doubts regarding the position, company, or any other issue, you can get them clarified during the end of the interview. Okay, so we have prepared interview, we have attended interview. What next after the interview? You should be able to do the follow-up after the interview. See, after the interview, you can analyze your performance. After you come back from the interview, take out a few minutes to analyze how you performed and what areas could have been better. Ask yourself whether you forgot to mention something or whether you could have responded in any particular question in a better way. This goes a long way in improving your interview skills. So, analyzing your performance in any interview can really help you do better in the next interview. Then second one, then inform your references. Of course, I mentioned, right? You might have been invited for the interview through some consultancy, maybe some reference, or maybe through some friends or relatives, right? So if you have given any reference in your CV or in the job application, make sure you inform them so that they are not caught off guard when the HR calls them. Call up your reference and tell them about the company and the position you have applied for. Let them know the skills and qualities you would like to recommend for you. So, understood, right? So, if you have been referred by somebody and if you have put some reference in your CV, so make sure they are informed that I have given an interview in so and so company. This is the role. This is the qualities. These are the technologies which they are asking for. Can you recommend me for that? Give me good feedback about myself. Okay, so that's the second step. So thirdly, so follow up with HR. If you do not get to hear from the company within the expected time, you should follow up with the HR department on the outcome of the interview. You can do so through phone or email, irrespective of the mode of use. Be sure to mention your name, position applied for, interview date, name of the interviewer, if you know, other relevant details to help the HR staff recall your meetings. So we have three things to do. First, you analyze your response. Second, you inform your references. Then third, you follow up with HR. So with that, we have come to the end of this session. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope this is really helpful. Please share your feedback as comments. Let me know if you need any assistance. Keep watching Data Analytics Talks. Thank you.